Good afternoon, members of the Mashpee School community. I'm Superintendent Patty DeBoer. It is Friday, December 4th, 2020, and this is the 50th day of learning for our students. I wanted to do a little video check-in today, just to talk about a couple of topics. One is the letters that I have been sending out. So every day this week, I believe, through yesterday, you have received a letter from me notifying you of a student who has tested positive for COVID-19. I acknowledge that when I send these letters that it is adding to your level of anxiety and stress, but I also think it is very important that we are as transparent as possible and that we are sharing the information that we know with our school community. Since October 24th through yesterday, we have had 14 students test positive for COVID-19. All of these cases have come from outside of the school into the school. There is no school spread at this point in time. I want to assure you that our district nurse coordinator, Stacy Shackle, she takes her responsibilities very seriously, as do I. And with every notification of a positive case, there is a protocol that we follow, a very extensive sort of data dive, and we work very hard to make sure we have identified all close contacts, whether it's students or staff, if there are any, or in many cases there are not. But when I send these letters, I know that you're continuing to get more and more worried. I can't really help you handle that level of stress other than to assure you that it is our priority to keep our current learning model in place while at the same time making sure that we have a very safe environment, which we do. And as a message to all families, we are all going to continue to do our best to 6-foot distance, wash your hands as often as you can, and wear your face mask everywhere, because we really have to do this together. We have to keep the community of Mashpee as well as the Mashpee Public Schools safe. And that only happens through sort of really good communication and collaboration and making good choices, avoiding activities or gatherings that could pose a risk to your family and then also to the school community. But at this point, we have no community classroom, we have no district spread within our schools. One message that I have also shared this week in a couple of my communications is the importance of families making the right decision when it comes to deciding whether you're going to send your child to school or not. So if any member in the household has tested positive for COVID or is awaiting a COVID-19 test or has COVID-like symptoms, your children should not be sent to school. Now, fortunately, our learning model does allow for a pretty seamless transition from an in-person learning to remote. It is a little bit more challenging in the very low grades, and so we ask that you give us a couple of days so that everything is in place for your child to be a successful remote learner if you're in grades K to 3. Grades 4 through 12, where we have the hybrid model in place already, it is very seamless. But we really absolutely need our families to collaborate in that way and keep their children home. If you have any questions as a family, I know that in all of my communications, we include Nurse Stacy's contact information. She is open to being contacted in the evening, on weekends, on holidays, early in the morning. So don't hesitate to reach out to get the right kind of guidance that's not only going to be more beneficial to your family, but also to our school community. So I really thank you for that. One of the things I also wanted to talk about today is the generosity of this community, and particularly at this time of year, it's very, very important that we look beyond ourselves, and many of our families are experiencing more significant financial stress than in other years. And we are asking and hopeful that those in our community who are not experiencing financial stress might choose to share some generosity through the schools. You can donate to the Falcon Family Fund. And then at each school, we will make sure that supports are provided to the families that we know need this help. And this year, unlike other years, we're not collecting gifts. We're actually seeking gift cards that would allow a family to go and make a purchase of a gift for a child. So things like an Amazon gift card, Marshall's, Target, Walmart, those are good options. And if you are able to, we would greatly appreciate any contribution you'd like to make that would brighten the holiday season for our children and their families. One of the other ways you could choose to help us is through supporting some of the food that we provide. So this season, there's an opportunity to purchase. It's $18.22, and it's a box of all fresh fruits and vegetables that might go into creating a holiday meal. And then what we are doing is seeking to add to that as well with a protein, whether it's a turkey or a ham or some type of a roast. So that's an opportunity that if you have the ability to support another family, or you're not experiencing a struggle yourself, you might choose to donate into that aspect of our neediness for families. And there will be information in today's email about this as well. And we're hoping that we can come together as a community. Some of our businesses have not had a very successful year, and they're not able to help like they have in the past. And some of the community organizations are also struggling. So anything that we can do to sort of fill in some of the gaps that are still going to be experienced for our families, we'd be greatly appreciative of that. I hope that everybody has a great weekend. It's not supposed to be super great weather. I believe we're getting rain down here on the Cape, which is perfectly good for me. I think our kids would appreciate some snow, but we can push that off a little bit longer. I want to again express gratitude for the opportunity I have to be in this role, to work with an amazing team of colleagues. Our teachers are working so very hard. Our parents are working so very hard. We all have a common goal of making sure that our students get the best education possible and that we are able to keep them and each other as safe as we can. And so I really appreciate how we are all working really well together. I hope that as we go through the next few weeks that we are able to maintain our current practices and our learning model. It's very important for our students to be in school as much as we can have them here. And it goes beyond just the learning that takes place in the classroom. There are messages in hallways, there's interactions in the cafeteria. There are just so many more layers to a public school education beyond just the learning that really creates that sort of support and positive experience for kids that is beneficial to their social emotional well-being. So we are keeping that as really a goal, is that focus on health and wellness. And I just going to close with saying again, if you have any needs as a family, as a parent, guardian, and as a grandparent, you do not have to navigate any of this alone. We are here for you. We have wonderful resources in not only our people, but in some of the access to other services that we can provide. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Don't struggle alone. We definitely are in this together, and we're going to make it through together, and we want to help you in any way that you need. So stay positive, stay strong, and know that you're not alone, and have a great weekend. Take care.